connecting your brain and body with interactive games and tests. Why is there no physical activity in today's health physical? Trazer is an holistic technology used to rehabilitate, prevent falls, and improve sport performance. Trazer reports provide you, your clinician, your physical therapist, or athletic trainer objective data to make decisions on your health and performance over time. Measure what matters to change your game. Take the Trazer Challenge. Confidence, growth, connected by Trazer.
At Fusion Sport, we're all about driving human performance. We develop and support a range of technologies all designed to assist people to be their best. SmarterBase is used by hundreds of elite sporting organisations across the globe, and more recently has been used by the military and performing arts as well.
Our SmarterBase technology has at the heart of it an integrated and connected philosophy. What's different about SmarterBase is that it's truly flexible and self-engineerable. That really puts the power into our customers' hands, and it allows them to use it in unique ways that perhaps we haven't even thought of.
Between ourselves and the rest of the field, but here comes Jemmy Stone.
What is going on, everybody? It's your man, Eric Wilson, here on a Monday night. Sports Arena is live in the building as we do each and every Monday and Wednesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern. We got a lot to get to with the show tonight. First and foremost, is everybody having a good day? Because you know what? I actually am. Even though, as many of y'all know, my team lost yesterday. But you know what? I'm okay with that. I really, truly am. Because when you have a hard-fought battle against a team that is an AFC West proverbial favorite to, make a run in the postseason, you respect that. You appreciate when stuff like that happens because you know that it really could have went either way. So I'm okay with that. And as you see, I'm not dressed in black. I'm not in mourning. But you know what? I had some good news happen. I really, truly did. Because for me, as y'all know, each and every Sunday during the NFL season, there are two teams that I cheer for. One, my Philadelphia Eagles. I bleed green all day, every day. The second is anybody playing the Dallas Cowboys. And finally, my man, Teddy Two Glove, has stepped up and answered the call. And I was so thankful because now I get to hear all the excuses from Mike Caratanudo and Megan Price. But before I get to them, and Ruth Kekias, if she decides to show up, but I think she's still traveling back from Jerry World licking her wounds. But let me get my man, Sideline Sports, Fox Sports 1340 AM, Cardiac Kane, Fin Fanatic, NFL Carousel, my man, John Shear.
How are we doing tonight? Oh, man. Well, it's a good day. My Dolphins won. The Cowboys lost. Kirk Cousins couldn't get it done after having a huge lead. Man, it all just It's all just stars are aligning. So
They
it was a
are.
pretty good day.
It was a really, really good day. Love the jersey, by the way.
Thank you.
I do. So let me go ahead, ladies and gentlemen, and get him in. My friend of 12 years and plus and counting, who was so, what's the word I'm looking for? He was so eloquent in introducing me last week after the Cowboys beat the Minnesota Vikings. Let me return the favor and say a man who is just as loyal to his team as I am to mine. We will forever be rivals, but we will also forever be friends. Believe in the Pac-12 zone. And losing Cowboy fan, Mike Carritudo.
Wow. You're going to go that route. You lost. You choked. And we're 6-2. I mean, it's okay. I understand. Misery needs company. The Eagles and Dolphins, perfect company for each other because they're going nowhere.
And we won.
Hey,
We won.
Why are you attacking John?
No, I said because he's all happy too. He said it. You guys are you won great. You're in last place. You're in fourth to last.
We forgot to mention the Bills got beat by the Jags, so it's a great day. It's a great day.
And okay, but let me address it. There's no excuse. When are you going to make excuses? When are you going to make excuses? They lost. They played like crap. They missed 2 big plays. Mike McCarthy can't manage the clock or decide to kick field goals in the first quarter because he's a genius. But look. They lost the game. They're still in first place. You just did the international sign for all Philly sports teams against the Chargers. You choked. So, I mean, it's cool. The division's terrible. We're going to walk away with it. It was a good speed bump for him. Dak looked really PO'd in his press conference and not fake PO'd, actually real PO'd. But I just want you to know there's an APB out for Mike Nolan because he did steal Dan Quinn's identity somehow. And he got back into the Cowboys play call.
Dak did not look 100%. He did not look 100% at all. Not even close.
Eric, I gave you that intro last week because you, who can't stand Kirk Cousins, who I even used to, as you know, kind of go to bat for in Washington, saying he's still leading them to wins. Like they started to draft defense. They had that around him. Cousins was making plays. I'm like, I couldn't stand the kid at Michigan State anyway, so I'm with you. I know where it kind of comes from, the whole Penn State, Michigan State thing. But you were like, oh, Cousins, I'm your friend. I'm like, man, how many times have I told you, and John, you don't know this, but Eric knows, if the Cowboys needed both Washington and the Eagles to win to go to the playoffs, guess what? I don't want to go to the playoffs. I don't. They lose. I want them to lose. So he's all rooting for Kirk Cousins. But that's, you know what? It's a speed bump. It's all right, but hey, now the national media, I will say this real quick before we get started. I know we're going to talk about who turned the page, but now they all got to put their tails between their legs because no best receiver in the game, no Kyler Murray. Oh, and Edmonds goes down and Connor blows up. Best team in the NFL, Arizona Cardinals, and it ain't close.
All right.
By the way, great job, Michael. I saw your ASU video that you had done, the sideline reporting or whatever. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that's after the game. Well, there was a Fox that I don't know if you guys saw the Twitter page because that made national attention. A Fox ran onto the field, jumped up into this crowd. He lives in the stadium. He does because he's there getting food. But first we all thought it was a cat from the press box, and I'm like, that's not a cat, and it sure as heck ain't a dog. And then they got a close up, and it's a fox, and he's like running up the stands, running by people, ran back down, came back on the field, and he went back up the runway. But within 5 minutes, he had his own Twitter page.
Nice. Well, let me welcome in your other Cowboy fan.
She's got no excuses either. She's fine.
But she just got done doing the NBA carousel. So let me welcome in our girl, 806 Sports, NBA carousel, NFL, Alex Fleming's NFL carousel, and the sip-off. And again, another Dallas Cowboy losing fan. Miss Megan Price is in the building.
That's crucial.
Megan, how are you?
I am so disappointed in my team. I have no excuses. You're right. We looked awful on both sides of the ball. There was nothing positive to say. Absolutely nothing positive to say. Only thing we did was play 2 minutes of football at the very end of the game. Thank goodness it wasn't a shutout. And that I guess that's the only positive thing I can say. It wasn't a shutout.
I got one positive thing. Tyron Smith's replacement, the left tackle, even though the Broncos beat him up, he did look pretty good.
He did.
That kid looked good on the left side. So that's one positive. And Dan Quinn's in jail.
Teddy, my boy. Teddy Jam, what's going on, baby? How are you? Much love to you. Teddy 2 Love. I appreciate you. Hey, man. Checks in the mail. Love you. Got to go. All right.
Yeah.
So
A mess.
let's get down to business.
But wait, Teddy's going to win again next week, Megan, because they play the Eagles in Denver. So we know they'll trash Philly.
I will say, I think, I told you guys this on the NFL carousel that I was concerned that Denver defense was going to come in with a chip on their shoulder, but after losing Von Miller. And sure enough, not only did we play awful, they played great. So, I mean, there was two contributing factors to that as well.
Eric wants me to make excuses, Megan. I tip my cap to him and punch him in the mouth. No, I know you're not either. I'm just saying Eric was waiting for me to do that. I tip my cap. They punch him in the mouth, but I'm sorry, still in first place in the division, and it's not even close.
It had to have been bad juju for them having an entire show to themselves on Wednesday. It had to have been some bad karma, bad juju, or something.
I would rather
It had to be something like that where the football gods were like, you know what? They deserve to get beat down. Humble them. That's what happened.
Hey,
this is all Eric's fault. Eric started it. He created the show.
Did.
Eric wanted that. That was Eric's thought. But that's all right because it's going to be a beatdown Thursday night because I don't know if the Dolphins will cross the 50 on the Ravens.
We won't get into that.
We won this week, so
Wednesday,
so
I can't ask for two wins in 1 week.
All right, well, you can, but it depends on if it happens.
Not as the
let's
Dolphins
get down to the
year.
business. My first question of the night for everybody here on the Sports Arena, very simply, is this: now that Odell Beckham Jr. is being released by the Cleveland Browns, we saw what the Cleveland Browns were and what we kind of expected them to be. So, are they now back on track to contend for the AFC North crown and make a run in the playoffs? Or was this a one-hit wonder against an interstate divisional AFC North opponent? Mike, what do you think?
No, man. I mean, come on. You and I have been on Cleveland, and obviously much love to Alex. We said they were relevant.
And John.
No, that's true. That's true. But Alex started picking on us like last March when we kept saying it's a relevant team. Like they're never going to be relevant. They're the Browns. And then when Lamar played superhero. But to answer your question, Eric, it's one of those things where, no, I mean, look, Nick Chubb's running the ball. He's going to have his name on a list with one other person. And I heard this stat today. I couldn't believe it. So in his first 5 seasons, I think it was, 5 years to rush for 5,000 yards and average over 5 yards a carry. Jim Brown's the only other person in history that's done it. And it's going to be another Brown. Chubb's going to do it too. And we talked about this. If they can run the ball, Baker Mayfield will make plays. Look, he's not going to turn the ball over. Yes, most people can't stand his personality. And, I do have to give credit because we always talk about people taking stuff. But Colin Cowherd was talking about the reason why he feels Baker Mayfield rubs people the wrong way. And he said this before, and I actually really thought about it this time, is because it's like we can debate and we have fun with each other. But when you're with somebody, it always has to get the last word, always has to be right. And that's Baker Mayfield. Look, you get to become an NFL quarterback by driving and, yes, being right. But at the same time, it's his personality. But it's not working. It didn't work with OBJ. If they're better without him, they're better without him. And it's not about one being right, one being wrong. Two things can be true. OBJ can go shine somewhere else, but the Browns don't need him to win, which is crazy to say because when you hear that logically, it's like when healthy, we all know he's a top 5 receiver. I mean, it's the talent's there. But, yeah, for Cleveland, man, look, it was interstate, and yes, as we know, I took Cincinnati because I'm like, you lost to the Jets. You're probably looking ahead to the Browns. They're at home. If it was in Cleveland, I would have taken Cleveland. But, man, that defense beat him down. Look, the Browns got the formula to win. You always hear me say, guys, defense and running games travel. Well, the Browns play defense, and they got a running game. Now, they'll probably have to play on the road in Baltimore. Well, I'm looking at the playoffs. Obviously, they have to play Baltimore. But, I mean, that'll be a challenge for them. And the fact that the Steelers actually one-upped them and beat them last week, I mean, they got a little bit of hole to dig out of. But defense and run games travel, so they don't care if they're home or on the road. They're going to punch you in the mouth.
John, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm not sure what to think right now because this week was weird because the Bills lost a game they shouldn't have lost. The Cowboys lost a game they shouldn't have lost. So the Rams got beat down on Sunday Night Football in a game that was just theirs for the taking.
Wait, John, Matthew Stafford just threw another interception at the 2-yard line. Good play,
so,
Matthew.
Like, this week just didn't make any sense. The Browns go and lay an egg versus Pittsburgh at home, but then Cincy, who destroyed Baltimore in Baltimore, lays an egg against the Browns. So, like, this division just Nobody's consistent. The Ravens are winning, yes, but they didn't even look good at the beginning of that game against the Vikings. The Vikings were dominating them for a while. So the Ravens have had a lot of these lulls in their games where they dig themselves into holes and they have to dig out and have a miracle to win. So even the Ravens, as good as their record is, still have a lot of issues. They're the worst pass defense in the entire NFL. That's not good if you have to go up against Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow or any of these teams that can throw the ball all over the place. That's not good. So the AFC North has a lot of holes. I'm not sure what to make of anybody in the AFC North right now. I really can't give anybody the edge. Everybody kind of is showing their flaws week in and week out. They're showing you they could be good, and then you see the Bengals lose to the Jets, and then they lose to the Browns, and badly. So I don't know what to make of this division. I guess it's kind of a week-by-week thing. That's kind of how this year is in the NFL.
Yeah,
All
John,
right,
the
Megan, hold on a second. Megan, let me go ahead and get you. How do you feel about this?
I think it is them turning the page, moving on from OBJ, and that they're actually going to start hitting their stride now. They've had some struggles, not only this issue with OBJ, but they've had some major injury problems. Baker had some tough moments. He was injured some too as well. So I think they're actually going to turn the page and actually start getting better. It was proven fact that they were better without OBJ anyway. They said this last year, and it was facts. They work better without him. And so I agree with Mike. It's no shame on OBJ. Hopefully he goes somewhere else, shines somewhere else, and he just didn't fit in there. That's okay. I mean, he needs to call up Westbrook and tell him the same thing.
Eric, I was going to say to you, the Ravens, though, I see what you're saying about some holes, but and obviously
they're the worst pass defense in football. That's a big hole.
They come from behind, and when are teams getting those yards? Look, outside the Cincinnati game where they got blown out, everybody always talks about junk time yards and guys, players padding stats, whatever. They're down and they keep coming back. Which, here's a funny side note, John. Eric's gonna like this. As I was looking up stuff today, you know who has the least interceptions in the league? Kirk Cousins.
Oh my goodness.
He only has 2.
But you can't really go on injuries in that division because, you say the Browns are riddled with injuries. The Ravens lost 3 running backs before the season started. They lost Ronnie Stanley, who's played their best offensive lineman, who's played one game this year.
Quarterback in the league, though. They have a quarterback that can run.
If you have your best offensive lineman who played one game this year and he's out for a season, all your running backs are gone. You're playing scrap heap running backs. You're arguably your best corner, Marcus Peters, who's the heart and soul, in my opinion, of that defense, or at least the defensive backs. He was gone before the season started, and you're still able to do what you're doing and lead the division. Injuries are no excuses. I know the Browns have been banged up.
I'm not using it as an excuse. I just feel like, that is something that was one of their issues. It's not an excuse. It's a fact. 37% of their lineup their roster was injured. So, that's not an excuse. It's a fact. Yeah. And then going on to their defense, you can't think that it's just Myles Garrett out there. Walker Jr., Troy Hill, they're all out there tearing it up. Like, they have a good defense.
And the rookie Newsome. Alex was kind of first on him, and I was second because I love that kid in the secondary. That kid Newsome, and obviously Denzel Ward, I know with the big play, but he's been starting to show up. But, John, to your point about the Browns, too, it's not an excuse, but sorry, when you lose to two of the top, two of your top 5 running backs in the NFL go out and they're out for a game, that obviously makes a huge difference. It helped Pittsburgh out. But all I'll say with the Ravens is this. I get what you're saying, but Lamar Jackson's battling back. He's sitting in the pocket. He's throwing passes. He's scrambling when he has to. And, Eric, this is I don't know if you know, this is my favorite love in defense. When you have a 342-pound defensive tackle playing fullback and catching touchdowns, I pick you to win. Just Hulk smash all the way down.
They also didn't have their first-round pick and Rashad Bateman for the first 5 or 6 games as well, too.
I'm just saying the Ravens to me, you could be the worst pass defense, but when are they getting the yards? Like I said, excluding the Cincinnati game, which Cincinnati outplayed them, hands down, punched them in the mouth. That's it.
Clearly that secondary is flawed. Like, you watched Justin Jefferson smoke them on that first touchdown of the game yesterday. Clearly there's issues in that secondary, and they got to get it fixed because when Mahomes or Allen or whatever they face in the playoffs, you can't have that. You just can't.
we keep talking about Patrick Mahomes, and I want to get to them a little bit later on in the show because I have a very different viewpoint now with Patrick Mahomes based on what I heard today, especially from one Ryan Clark. I think he summed it up best when he said Patrick Mahomes good isn't good enough anymore. And I kind of want to peel back the layers on that. But I want to keep the show moving here on Tonight on the Sports Arena. And we are officially halfway through the season. So I want to ask the question. How is everybody feeling with regard to their early bird picks that we did? And of course, I'm going to, okay, hold on. Technical difficulties there.
Whoa. It's like a strobe light. Eric's got a party going. See, Megan, the Cowboys lose one game, his team loses, and he throws a party. I mean, come on. What is it?
Exactly.
What is
That's exactly that is exactly what I did, Mike.
Only
Because
in Philly would you lose and throw a party.
Anytime Dallas loses, I'm a happy man. So let's go to, since we were talking about the AFC North, let's go to that division. As we look at it on paper, most of us, with the exception, I believe, of Megan, all picked Baltimore to win this division. Megan actually had Cleveland to win this division. Focusing on those two, Baltimore and Cleveland. John, how are you feeling about your prediction with the Cleveland Browns at 11-6 and the Ravens at 13-4?
I mean, I didn't anticipate all the injuries at running back for them and offensive line, which was huge for them. But I expected more consistency out of the Browns. I mean, they've had opportunities to win games. The Pittsburgh game at home, they should have won that game. There's no excuse for that. 15-10, you put up 10 points at home against a division rival. There's no excuse. I know you know each other, but you just can't have that. So they've been extremely inconsistent. I thought that they would play better. I'm not impressed by them or Pittsburgh yet. I haven't seen it week in and week out. You just don't know what team you're going to get out of either team. And the Bengals are surprising us, but they are coming back down to earth these last 2 weeks. They're starting to look like the team we thought they would be in preseason. What teams are doing, and I've noticed is they're starting to take away that slant pass from Jamar Chase and forcing Joe Burrow to go elsewhere. Because when they take away that read, because it's happened 2 weeks in a row now, when they take away that read, Joe Burrow is starting to struggle and the line's struggling. And he's throwing more interceptions. He's forcing passes to Jamar Chase on those slants, and they're getting batted up and picked off. That's what I've noticed 2 weeks in a row. So that's something Joe Burrow really has to fix.
All right.
Well, Eric, you just hope that Cincinnati goes on a losing streak because you would hit the jackpot now with 5, and all of us were. Look, I mean, again, we all said offensive line. We all said offensive line would be the issue, and yeah, I mean, Jamar Chase has proven to be a complete stud, and they have great chemistry. But yeah, I mean, hats off to the Bungles, man. They always get picked on, but hats off to the Bungles because, like I said, you got them at 5. They're at 5 now. So I mean, look, if they get in this year for Cincinnati, if they were to get to 10 or 11 wins, let's say 9 or 10, 9, 10, 11 wins in that area. I mean, look, that's like the city of Cincinnati winning the Super Bowl because, and I said this 2 weeks ago, as bad as that offensive line has been, Burrow's got knocked down 4 or 5 times, sacked 3-4 times in a game, but gets up and just keeps going. So, look, they fixed the offensive line. Cincinnati could be scary. And to your point, because you said it too last week, Mixon started to look more like the Joe Mixon we thought we'd see. So, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a crazy division, but Baltimore, to me, I'm confident that they'll win it.
All right, Megan, I want to go to you, and then we do have a question from our Facebook chat. But Megan, talk to me about this because, again, pulling this up, we were, I'll say, under the impression that Cincinnati was going to be Cincinnati. I thought that Pittsburgh would be middle of the road, but not have a losing season. And yes, we gave the nod. But Megan, you picked Cleveland. So now, as they currently are constructed right now, I mean, they can only afford to lose one more game, and then they need to run the table, Megan, in order for you to be right on your assessment of the Cleveland Browns.
Right, and that's probably not going to happen. It's looking like the Ravens are going to take the division most likely. But when I said that the Browns are turning a page and they're going to improve, I don't know if they're going to win the division, but they're not going to be how they were the first couple of weeks, the first 3-4 weeks of the season. So, I will go back and say, yeah, I'm going to change it. I got the Ravens winning the division. Browns probably close, maybe 2 games behind them.
Okay, all right. So shout out to our boy, the future Dr. Jarrell Heslip, wanting to say it was a backwards day in the league yesterday, which I would agree, except for that Cowboys game, because my boy Teddy Two Glove
Hell out of here.
cooked the brother up. But we do have a question, and we can go ahead and jump to this now. I'll give everybody a quick moment to give their opinion. Who's the best team right now in the AFC? Ladies first, Megan Price.
I mean, I think it has to be the Bills, unequivocally. They're just that good. And now they did have a weird loss, and they did have a couple of struggling weeks in the first of the season, but I still think they're that team to beat. And you just got to look at the reigning champs. They only won 11 games during the regular season, and they still ended up going to the playoffs and making it all the way to the end and winning. And I think the Bills are capable of doing that.
All right, Mike, who's the best team in the AFC?
Well, Megan's partially right. I got a two-sided answer. It's like I got a two-headed coin, Eric. The Bills have the best roster. The Bills have the best roster, top to bottom. The Titans are the best team, and it's not because of what they. It's because how Mike Vrabel coaches. I'll tell you why. He answered our question on. I mean, I said in the before season started, we all said, how's that defense going to respond? Because the last 5 weeks of the season and playoffs, that defense just kind of went like that, and the defense has responded. They lose Derrick Henry. They bring in Adrian Peterson, who's we all know not Derrick Henry, but Mike Vrabel knows how to coach. They're gonna hopefully get quarterbacks like Carson Wentz and Matthew Stafford to give them interceptions at the goal line all season long. But look, all kidding aside, they are the best team. Mike Vrabel has them coached, and the defense answered the question. But I can't disagree with Megan because top to bottom, the Bills do have the best roster in the AFC.
All right, John Scheer, who's the best team in the AFC?
It's such a loaded question. I mean, I'm glad Megan had to answer this first. I don't know. I mean, there's so many. I mean, we thought the Chargers would be better. They should have stomped the Eagles. I mean, the AFC North I just went on and on about. I can't say the Titans because Derrick Henry's gone. So you can't give it to the Titans. Without Derrick Henry, they're not the same team. They got to go the rest of the season. And then in the playoffs, remember, the run game travels, Mike. They don't have the run game anymore. I'm not trusting Adrian Peterson at his age to carry them in the playoff game. I just can't. Right. I guess by default it has to be the Bills, but even the Bills don't. I said this at the beginning of the season, remember. Stephon Diggs would take a step back. Who's got Diggs? I tried to tell you guys, Diggs will have a regression season. Josh Allen will have a little bit of a comeback to earth season. And that's what's happening.
Hold on, John. Hold on.
And you said the Dolphins would win the division.
Hold on, John. Which Josh Allen are you talking about? The Josh Allen in Buffalo or the Josh Allen in Jacksonville? I just wanted to know which Josh Allen were you talking about?
The Josh Allen that played in Jacksonville yesterday, in Jacksonville Stadium yesterday.
Okay.
It's one game, y'all. It's one game. Exactly. Same people saying it about the Cowboys. It's one game. It's 1 week. On to the next.
But Eric, you'll be proud of it. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, John. Go ahead.
So the Bills have 5 wins, right? They have 5 wins?
Yes,
is that right? Okay. If you take away a win versus the Houston Texans, a win versus the Dolphins, and another win versus the Dolphins, they have 2 wins on the season. If you take away those 3 wins against teams that aren't even close to the playoffs, and the Dolphins and Texans, and before yesterday had a combined 2 wins. What, 2 and 14 before yesterday's game before they played each other? That's 3 of the Bills' wins right there between those 2 teams.
But
everybody else, they're what, 2 and 3?
If my aunt had you know what, she'd be my uncle.
I'm just saying. The Bills aren't as impressive as everybody's making it out.
I get what you're saying, but they are the best team.
They even beat the Chiefs, who we all agree don't look like the same Chiefs.
Yeah, but you're just making excuses now. So the Titans beat the Chiefs too. The Bills line up against it. Look,
what have the Bills done to impress you?
I'll leave it this. I'll leave it at this, John.
Just because they did good last year?
Next week, if the Jets come out and the Jets beat the Bills, I don't care that it's in the great state of New Jersey, because we know there's only one New York team, and that's a little bit. Hey, watch it.
That's a Texas thing. The great state of.
That being said, if they lose to the Jets, I will come back on here and be like, they might have the best roster, but they're not playing like it. John was right. But they're going to destroy the Jets. You can only play what's in front of you. And for all the things you're saying, just remember when Mr. I get every call and this and that, Tom Brady was in New England, they always gave him credit for that. He always got credit. Maybe you didn't give him credit, but the whole of the media, he always got credit. And Eric's laughing because that's what started my bitterness, because Eric knows I'm right on that point.
But what if the Bills
Tom
didn't
Brady got
impress
credit
you?
for it. So, but I'm saying they play defense. Again, you talk about injuries.
They play great defense, but they can't run the ball. Diggs doesn't look like the same Diggs. Allen has taken a step back this year.
He didn't take a step
But
back.
I think
Jackson
you said it right.
out.
It's by default because everybody else is struggling too.
Yeah.
All right.
But
So,
I want to say that I want to say this about the Texans though.
Sure.
They look way better than we anticipated when Tyrod Taylor is their quarterback. So you would say
What?
you want to take that win away, but
interceptions?
Tyrod Taylor looks decent over there.
Did you see the 3 interceptions? What, 5 sacks?
And he just came back.
And you really won 17-9.
Yeah, because Jacoby Brissett's terrible.
All right. So the one
Get him,
team
Megan,
that,
get him.
The one team that nobody mentioned, and I can't believe y'all. I mean, I have to say this. I'm a little depressed that no one mentioned the Baltimore Ravens. And here's my reason why. First and foremost, they started the season with their quarterback with COVID. They lost their top running backs. Their defense is still one of the defenses that we are continually questioning. And yet they are 6-2. And Lamar Jackson is continually elevating his own presence on the field. Was I nervous yesterday against Minnesota? You're damn right I was. But what did Lamar do? Lamar said, I got you. I got you. Trust me. We got a guardian angel on our shoulder right now. We're going to make this happen. I said, you know what? I said, El Freaky, I got you, baby. And what did he do? Pulled out a victory. When you continually move the goalpost further and further back, not allowing Lamar Jackson to be successful, Lamar Jackson's like, you continually give me room to improve. So guess what? I'm going to take it and I'm going to run with it. The Baltimore Ravens, if they were healthy right now, this team would only have one loss, in my opinion. Straight to God. But he couldn't be a quarterback. He's done that. He couldn't win a playoff game. He's done that. He couldn't beat Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. He's done that. I understand you play what's in front of you. But Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens are making such headway right now that for them to not be considered the best team in the AFC, because they're doing more with less. They had to go get guys out of the retirement home and said, Le'Veon Bell, you want to come play with us because no one wants you? Come on, man. Jump on board. You know what I mean? They're bringing guys in.
Dislike that.
They are doing what New England has done for 2 decades. They are pulling guys and saying, we're going to give you an opportunity to shine. All we ask is that you come in and handle your business. And that's what they're doing.
I 100% agree with you, Eric. They have. But to John's point about saying their pass defense, the one thing Tennessee's done, why I say Tennessee, is because I looked this up today too. They have the most passing attempts against them because they have turned teams one-dimensional. And that's something I didn't think their defense would do. You look at their schedule. Yes, they played the Bills. Both running backs were healthy when they played the Bills, and it was a high-scoring game. So, yes, they did give up yards and stuff against the Bills. We know Allen's going to throw the ball. But they faced the most attempts a game because they have turned pretty much mostly everybody they've played one-dimensional. And we saw how, Matthew Stafford couldn't get it going last night for it. Everybody sat down with their drink and their popcorn. It was 14. The Ravens had, or the Titans had 2 turnovers. So everything I agree with you about the Ravens. I just think if the Titans defense plays like that, yes, Derrick Henry's not there. We all get it. Hey, look, I'd love to see that as an AFC championship game, except for the fact that I picked the Bills to win the AFC. But if that's a consolation for me, I would take the Ravens and the Titans in an AFC championship game.
All right. John, I'm going to give you the final word. Then we're going to go to break because I do want to discuss the second half with who's ascending and who's descending. But John Shear, I'm going to give you the final word.
Yeah, I agree with Mike. It's hard to put the Ravens there. They've had a lot of games like the Lions game where they could have easily lost that miracle 66-yard game-winning field goal game. Worst pass defense in the entire NFL. Worse than ours, and we're second to last. So, you're barely better than a 2-7 team. That's just calls for concern when it's a passing league and you can't stop the pass. When it comes to the playoffs, I mean, that's a big concern.
Fair enough. All right, we're going to take a real quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about ascension and descension. More with the crew in the sports arena in just a moment.
Generations Physical Therapy has been the Tri-State's leader in physical therapy. Generations Physical Therapy has been the Tri-State's leader in physical therapy services for over 20 years. And now we have a convenient location right in the heart of the capital city of Charleston, just off I-64. With convenient parking and flexible hours, your access to physical therapy is second to none. Plus, Snap Fitness is also inside with 2 floors of gym equipment and sports enhancement training through A-Game Sports Performance. So whether you're needing hands-on physical therapy or looking to get results in our gym, our family's ready to help yours. Generations Physical Therapy and Snap Fitness. Multiple services, multiple locations. Experience you can count on.
And welcome back into the Sports Arena. Your man, Eric Wilson, alongside John Shear, Mike Caratuno, and, of course, our queen of hoops, Miss Megan Price. So before we move on to which team needs to turn the page and which team's going to go downhill, really quick, I want to give everybody 30 seconds to kind of get this one off. So here's my question. Very simply put this. Are the New England Patriots a sleeper team with Bill Belichick and Mac Jones? Everybody gets 30 seconds. Megan Price, you're up first. Go.
I'm going to say no. I don't think that they're going to perform up to par. What I saw out of them, out of the Cowboys game, is what I feel like the team that they are completely. They're going to get a few wins. They're going to beat some teams, the Jets, teams like that. But I don't see them being able to beat a team like the Ravens, the Bills, or anything like that. So no, I don't have them being a sleeper team, not making it to the playoffs. Not at all.
All right, Mike Caratuno, 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'm in a little bit of agreement there with Megan. I don't have them going to the playoffs. They have a shot at the playoffs. I mean, they can hang on for that 7 seed, but a sleeper team until they learn how to win at home, Eric. I mean, they've won 1 game at home. Yes, it's good. It's great to do good on the road, but in the playoffs, you want that home field advantage. They're very used to that. Look, I mean, I like the way the defense plays. They brought all those guys in. Mac Jones has developed decently, but no, I mean, you're never going to call him a sleeper with Belichick as a head coach, but they're not going to do it.
John Shear?
Nah, this team's fraudulent. I mean, all the way. You stomped the Jets twice. Congratulations. You beat Sam Darnold, who's not an NFL quarterback, not even close to it. You know, come on. Like, this team has shown you nothing. They're not even close. They're fraudulent. I don't even know why the Patriots are in any conversation, because when they play real teams, they're going to get blown out of the water. So, nah.
All right. What I'll say is simply this. You know, it's Bill Belichick, and I have to believe that under the right system, anybody can thrive as long as they understand 3 simple words: do your job. And that's what Mac Jones is doing. He's definitely being a game manager, but he has moments of potentially being the next. You know, you always say you don't want to be the guy that comes after greatness. You want to be the guy after the guy. And I think that's what Mac Jones is. And I think in time, we'll see it. I still give them a shot at the number 7 seed, though. So, all right, let's talk acceleration and deceleration. Like I said, we're halfway through the NFL season here on the Sports Arena tonight. Your man, Eric Wilson, like I said, John Shear, Fox Sports 1340 AM, Cardiac Kane, Fin Fanatics, Sideline Sports, DBNA TV, Mike Caratuno, Believe in the Pac-12 podcast, and Arizona State University rep, and our girl Megan Price, 806 Sports, Dallas Wings, NBA Carousel, the Sip Off, the whole nine. This is what we love to do. So get used to it, people, because you're going to be seeing a lot more of us, especially in a concentrated effort. I'll share a little tidbit of information with you. The Justice League is forming, so get your popcorn ready. That being said, which team, in your opinion, Mike Caratenuto, give me one from the NFC and one from the AFC. Which team do you feel is on the come up as we start the second half of this season?
Okay, let me ask you this real quick. When you say come up, do you mean like with their record that they have a chance to make the playoffs and go, or any team that can just improve and make a run? That's what I was this one.
Any team that you feel right now has the momentum to pull off a couple wins and kind of move up, if you will, or if they're already a high team, continually move that forward trajectory going.
Well, don't any of you fall out of your seats, but there's only one team in the NFC that's at 500. There's 6 teams over, 1 at 500, and then I think 9 under 500. And that 500 team, I'm going to have to give a little bit of credit to, because they won in a place where I didn't think they'd win, and that's the Atlanta Falcons. They are a 500 team right now. They are battling for that 7th spot. John, let me talk. You can shake your head all you want. They played what's in front of them. They're 4-4, and they just beat a Saints team who smacked the hell out of the Bucks. So I don't want to hear like different matchups, whatever. And the Falcons, as we recall, Eric, were in that game until the middle of the 3rd quarter against Tampa. Then the turnovers commenced, and Tampa beat them. Hats off to Tampa, fine. But I'm going to say Matt Ryan can still play. Yes, we saw what happened with Calvin Ridley. Julio Jones obviously gone. But look at that. The Swiss Army knife found a home, and Kyle Pitts has time to develop. So in the NFC, I'm saying the Atlanta Falcons can make a run to be one and done, as John would say, in the playoffs, because that's what they would be if they get the 7th seed. My 1B in the NFC would be the Cardinals. In the AFC, I think they're just going to keep going because, like I said, they are the best team in the NFL. In the AFC, man, that's a good one, Eric, because I know we said the Browns. I know we said what they're doing with the Bills, but the team I think that will make a run, and even though they lost yesterday, I'm going to stick with the Raiders. And Card, they signed your boy Deshaun Jackson. At least gives them a deep threat. Do they need another receiver? 100%, yes. I mean, if Odell Beckham Jr. lands there and Deshaun Jackson is your deep threat, and Darren Waller is probably going to smile because when he gets his 27 targets a game, at least there won't be 4 people around him when he's getting those targets. So I'm going to go with the Raiders to my biggest upside to accelerate. Yes, even though they did have the terrible loss against the G-Men.
All right. Megan Price, same thing. Who is accelerating in your opinion?
I'm going to stick with the Cardinals as well. I think they're just one of the best teams right now. But I do want to shout out the Bucks because their schedule coming up is pretty easy. They got Washington, Giants, Colts, Falcons, Bills, Saints. So those last 2 weeks. I get it. But I also want to say a team that I think is actually going to move up is the team that just punched us in the mouth, and that's the Broncos. I would say the Raiders. I felt like they had a good vibe going into the season. I didn't pick that to happen, obviously, but they proved me wrong, and they have a good vibe. But these things happen in threes. They've had problems with their coach. They had problems with Ruggs. Now they had this other problem with the guy that got in trouble with the assault rifles. So
wait, Megan, you want to know why? Hold on, Eric, I got to share this. And I do feel bad because he was threatening people, and that's not cool. Where did he go to school? Ohio State. Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I got to say.
Go ahead, Megan.
Sorry, Megan.
No, you're fine. So for that reason, I got to pick the Broncos. I think that they're better than a lot of people give them credit for. I think that defense is better than a lot of people give them credit for. And I think they're also, like, going into this game, I said, I think that defense is going to have a chip on their shoulder. Their rookies look good. I think it's the Broncos. I don't think that they're going to make a deep playoff run, but I think they could make a run at that division.
All
and
right.
Megan, your exclamation point is, Eric, her exclamation point is, what did I say in the preseason? Teddy Bridgewater does not turn the ball over.
I know. He did it to y'all yesterday. So,
when he's healthy and on the field, he is absolutely an asset.
Thank you, Eric. I did that
First
for
time
you,
I've ever heard Teddy Bridgewater's an asset. in my life.
Hey, John. Now,
John, when he was healthy in Minnesota, he absolutely was. Before his knee got destroyed,
Right, yeah.
he
He
was
was a game
on that
manager
trajectory.
then.
No,
He's
he
a
wasn't.
game
You would
manager
not.
now.
Yeah, everybody is a rookie as a game manager. Anyway,
All
sorry,
right.
Eric, go on.
That's all right. John shared.
By the
Go ahead.
way, Mike, I saw that look you gave me when I told you Sam Darnold's not an NFL quarterback, and he's
Well, neither
not.
is Tua. Then neither
He
is
looks-
Tua. Then
Well,
just say
I'm
Tua's not.
talking about Sam Darnold. He is not an NFL
I'm
quarterback.
talking about Tua. Say Tua's not a
all.
NFL quarterback then. Say Tua's not an NFL quarterback because he's
Sam
not. If
Darnold
Sam's
is-
not, neither is Tua. That's
He's
fine.
one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL, Sam Darnold.
Okay, well, so
is
is Tua.
abysmal.
150-yard Tua is not good. But go on. Get to Eric's question. Just go.
He's terrible. All right. So a team on the rise, I think, has got to be the Colts. I really think that they're going to start climbing the standings in the AFC. They're going to start surprising people. I really think when they get healthy and Jonathan Taylor's really running the ball well and Quentin Nelson's starting to play more, just the health for them. T.Y. Hilton will be back hopefully eventually for them. Michael Pittman's starting to ball out for them. I really think the Colts are going to start surprising people if Wentz can play like 13-game stretch Eagles MVP season Wentz, which he has shown flashes of that. He's just got to not make that Matt Stafford bonehead play. And I think that the Colts can really surprise people the rest of the regular season. Playoffs, I don't know. The Broncos are a terrible team. They got a fluke win against the Cowboys yesterday. Let's just say that Dak wasn't healthy. They surprised them. Good win for the Broncos, but they're not a good team. They just traded Von Miller for a reason because they're giving up on the season. Anyway, going to the NFC, my rising team, I mean, it still has to be the Saints, right? I mean, if they put in Taysom Hill, which they got to realize that Trevor Siemian's not the guy the rest of the year. If you just went and beat the Bucs, if you really want a shot at making the playoffs and doing damage, I know Taysom Hill's not a good quarterback in my opinion, but he gives you a lot better chance to win than Trevor Siemian. Taysom Hill he can run the ball. He's got to be a better passer than Siemian. I mean, that guy's terrible. There's a reason why that guy is a third-string quarterback in the NFL. He sucks. So if they put Taysom Hill in and he's healthy, I think with Kamara, they can go RPO. And I think that's really dangerous against defenses because if you got to defend Kamara or Taysom Hill, whoever you choose when you collapse, guess what? The other one's going to take off. And both of them are hard to bring down. Now, I'm not saying Hill's a great passer, but if you do a lot of RPO with those two and Mark Ingram, that's a lot of heavy lifting that defense got to do to stop those three guys. So Saints are going to be my team if they're smart enough to go with Hill, which they got to do that.
I saw reports there were some people on report, and again, everybody's going to say not every team saying interested, but they were saying that of the coaches that could probably wrangle in OBJ, now that Michael Thomas is down, if he ends up in New Orleans with, like you just said,
I've heard a lot of OBJ
Kamara,
to New Orleans,
yeah,
and
If
Seattle.
he clears waivers tomorrow, I think it'll be a bidding war between. Well, I mean, Seattle maybe, but he said he wants to go. Somebody's got a chance to win this year.
Front runner right now.
Seattle's not winning this year, but the Saints would be sick because.
So is Seattle another team that you could say could be on the rise with Russell Wilson being back this week?
They're 3-5.
Yeah, but they're in the wrong.
Did you argue?
But they're in the wrong division.
Can I get my pick? Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I mean, I asked the question
to answer John's question. I just think that in that division, sure they can be on the rise, but they're not winning it. They're not winning that division.
Okay, Mike, I'm not asking who's winning. I'm saying which team turns the page and accelerates. I didn't say win.
Sorry.
That was my question. So, thank you all for stealing my thunder. I love y'all. I do. But y'all took Seattle from me. That was my one. I was like, please no one say Seattle. And y'all, yeah.
That was John's fault.
No, it wasn't.
I'm sorry.
I'm blaming all Cowboys fans that are named Michael Carrasco. I'm not blaming Megan Price because I love Megan Price. So that's what I'm saying. I'm blaming Mike. So no, I think Seattle. I think Seattle turns the page with Russ coming back and the possibility of them getting OBJ. If it happens, but if they don't, listen, still got Tyler Lockett, still got DK Metcalf. Russ is going to be Russ. So I say that is a team that can turn the page and accelerate in the NFC. With regard to the AFC, this one was difficult for me because of what just transpired. But then I looked at the records of the AFC West and the AFC North. Both these divisions are so close that at any given time, a team could accelerate. I'm saying the team that's playing tonight, Monday Night Football, the Pittsburgh Steelers, I feel they are going to accelerate because of what transpired last year when you started the season 11-0 and you fell off the deep end. You took a long walk off a short pier. Okay. This is a team that really has something to prove. So I feel like the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be the team that are going to accelerate. Now, are they going to make the postseason? It's so up in the air when you've got the Baltimores on the world. And I really think Cincinnati, their last two games were just, I don't want to call them hiccups, but if they lose a third game, then I'm saying, okay, you're going back to being the Cincinnati I know you to be. I'm not worried about you. But Pittsburgh, on the other hand, with the additions that they've made and utilizing, that rookie, Najee Harris, who I think is amazing. And listen, TJ Watt's TJ Watt. I don't care what you say about him. That bro's on the field. He's impactful. So those are my two teams. Now, conversely, let's go to the other side. Which two teams do we feel are on the decline? And I will get my two out the way really quick, so I'll let y'all have the floor. My first team is the Washington football team. For all the talk and all the hype that we gave them as being a dominant defense this year under Ron Rivera, even Tyler Heineke, who his matchup coming up against the Bucs, Brady's got something special for them because Heineke took the Bucs. I mean, he took them to the very end. It was like, I'm going to throw everything in the kitchen sink at you. Prove to me that you are the greatest. And Brady did just that with the Bucs. So I know Brady has not forgotten that. And again, I'm excited to see what happens, but I feel Washington is on the decline and will go back to being the Washington football team. And the story will be about what's going on internally in the front office and the organization itself, as opposed to the field. With the AFC, this again is where I get tricky because, John, for as much as you say the Colts could turn the page, listen, I done seen Carson Wentz. I done seen him at his high, and I done seen him at his low. And I know our brother Alex said that the Indianapolis Colts were going to win in spite of him. But quite honestly, this year, I just don't see it. I think the Indianapolis Colts are going to be mediocre at best if they secure, even though they have 4, if they secure 9 wins and have a 9-8 season, hey, to me, you did what you were supposed to do or what I anticipated you doing. I may have given them a lot more wins in our preseason prediction, but I'm not seeing it. And I say that from firsthand knowledge. I watched Carson from the moment he stepped foot in Philadelphia. I watched how he was. I watched him battle back from injury. I watched him sit on the sideline and watch as Nick Foles carried our team to a Super Bowl. Not once, but then Nick Foles came in the very next season when Carson got injured, and Nick almost did it again. You know what I mean? So it's those things.
Wasn't for Alshon Jeffrey letting that ball go through his hands.
Right. So that's what I'm saying to you. It's those things that make me say to myself, the mental toughness that we've always talked about when it comes to a quarterback, I think is still, there's something missing. He hasn't completely turned the page. He's beginning to do it, but it's not going to happen this season. So, Megan Price, your two teams, AFC and NFC, that you feel are decelerating, if you will.
NFC, I got to say the Niners. I'm really disappointed. I picked them to win this game against the Cardinals. They were without Kyler Murray. They're without J.J. Watt. And we've really just seen them fall apart this season. Several big losses. And so for me, they're just not the team that we thought going in. They're definitely not the team I thought they were going to be to make this the toughest division that we really thought they were. And then AFC, I got to go the opposite with you. I think the Steelers are definitely declining. Their next 5 weeks, they got the Lions. Okay, so they're going to win that game, right? What's the score tonight?
They're up by 10 with about 7 minutes to go.
Okay, so they're probably going to win this game. And then they play the Chargers, who I think are actually going to start playing better. They have been struggling for a few weeks, but I think they're going to start playing better. Then they have Chargers, the Bengals, Ravens, Vikings. I don't think they're winning any of those games other than the Lions. Maybe the Bengals.
The Vikings?
Yeah, I think the Vikings are going to beat the Steelers. We're talking about the Steelers. Ben is 47 years old.
He's 39.
And he's not Tom Brady.
He doesn't have to be. Yeah, he's a man. He knows how to take a hit.
He is dragging this franchise through the mud every single season. Is he going to retire? Is he not going to retire? Should they draft another quarterback? Should they not? He just needs to answer them and retire.
Yeah, but look at who's their replacement. But okay,
And,
I understand.
I understand. No, they need to address that. But also, and I'm not critical of their coach. I love Mike Tomlin. He's an excellent coach. I would love to have him in Dallas. I know it's not going to happen. But I would love to have him in Dallas. But he's been so successful for so long. He's bound to decline some. This is that season.
Okay. All right. Mike Caratenuto.
Wow.
2 teams, AFC and NFC, that are declining.
Well, Eric, you said the Steelers real quick. Megan, you say they're ascending. She says they're descending, but they're the 6th seed right now. Coming into today, they're the 6th seed in the AFC with half the season left to go. Okay, they beat the Vikings, but my NFC team, man, this was kind of tough when I was looking at this, because I think the NFC team that's going to decline, I'm going with one of those teams even more, and not just to butter you up, because the Lions obviously can't get any worse. The Giants are Jekyll and Hyde. I agree with you on Washington, but I'm going to say Minnesota. I just think that it's been too many close games. They've lost them. And look, I did save that. I said it earlier. I wanted to save that stat for now. But yes, Kirk Cousins has the least interceptions in the league. Only 2. So they don't turn the ball over. I'll give them that. Their defense has kind of not figured it out. I think the games against the Bears, and I mean, the Lions should have had them too. We're talking 66-yarder from Justin Tucker in Baltimore. The next week they play Minnesota. They haven't beaten them. Joseph hits a 52-yarder on him because they drove your best friend Cousins drove down into field goal range in like 37 seconds or whatever it was, something ridiculous. But I go with Minnesota there. I mean, I guess maybe kind of a softball easy pick, but I thought that Minnesota, and I'll be honest, everybody in the preseason, I said I thought they could make a run at the Packers, even in spite of your boy Kirk Cousins, but with Justin Jefferson, with Dalvin Cook, what I thought Zimmer would do with that defense, especially bringing Patrick Peterson in and another year with those guys, plus their linebackers and Barr and Hendricks. Their defense playing okay, but they're just not playing great winning games. So I go Minnesota in the NFC. In the AFC, I have to go with I have to agree with you, Eric. I'm going with the Colts. I just think that I love their defense. We know that, and I love defense, and they can play it. They proved it when they went to San Francisco to play the Niners and somehow won an outdoor muddy game for a team that plays in a dome. But look, I mean, the Carson Wentz pass 2 weeks ago, which Matthew Stafford did a great imitation of, like John and I were saying. But the Carson Wentz pass in the end zone, I mean, you of all people like Philly, as much as you know, I wanted Wentz in Dallas when they were first talking about trading up for him, and then the Eagles pulled the trigger and did. But I think that, yes, they can win in spite of them, but in going far, I don't know. And if you're in close games with, a Tennessee, a Baltimore, even a Cleveland, a Buffalo, like I can't give them that advantage. And do I think Wentz has played better? I mean, Jonathan Taylor is the X factor, but that AFC, the top of that AFC, even with Pittsburgh and our boy Najee Harris rushing the ball, it's crowded, and somebody's got to go decelerate. And I mean, I barely picked them over Cincinnati just because of the offensive line for Cincinnati. But look, man, Carson Wentz has been so up and down, and I don't know if he's too much in his head, but it was between them and Cincinnati. So I guess Cincinnati would be my 1B to let myself out on that. But I don't trust it. I don't see it, especially, like I said, against Baltimore, Cleveland, Tennessee, Buffalo.
All right. Nope. So, John Scheer, who are your 2 teams?
Yeah, I have to go with teams on the West Coast. I have to go with the Niners. I mean, this is a team with so much talent. They are getting Kittle back, but I mean, there's no excuse for them to lose that game against the Cardinals. There is absolutely no excuse.
What do the Cardinals have to do?
I know, Mike, you love the Cardinals.
What do they have to know? What do they have to do?
But no Kyler Murray and no DeAndre Hopkins, and Chase Edmonds gets knocked out at the beginning of the game. The Niners should have easily had that game against Colt McCoy, and they laid an egg.
Didn't Colt McCoy?
If the Niners can't win that game, a division game, again, a division game, which they almost beat the Cardinals the first time with Murray and Hopkins there and Trey Lance in for the Niners, and then they lay an egg at home without Murray, without Hopkins. Chase Edmonds gets knocked out. Wow. This Niners team's done. Like,
it's called playing defense, but okay.
No, the 49ers are done. Like, they are cooked. This is embarrassing. Kyle Shanahan, I just don't know what he's trying to accomplish there. So the Niners are, they're just going to keep falling apart. In the AFC, I think the Raiders, we're already seeing it. We saw it against the Giants. This team is just going to continue to fall apart. I know that they're trying to prove that they can do better without Gruden, and I get that. But they're starting to lose all their first-round picks. They're losing all these guys, cutting all these guys because of off-the-field stuff. I just can't see the Raiders. They had a fluke start to the season. That was, like I told you guys at the beginning of the year, it was a little bit of a fluke, and it's starting to show. They shouldn't have lost to the Giants. There's no way you lose to Daniel Jones and the Giants. That's a game if you're the Raiders. When the day where the Chargers had a tough game against the Eagles. Chiefs are down. The Broncos got a fluke win, but they're not a good team. This is your opportunity to take the division, and you lay an egg against the Giants who don't have Saquon Barkley, who I believe didn't have Sterling Shepard. They are riddled with injuries, and the Raiders go and lay an egg like that on the road. I don't care if they got to travel across the country. It's the NFL. You're supposed to win these games and take a hold of the division, and you blow it. I just can't see the Raiders continuing with what their record was a few weeks ago. They're my team on the decline.
Okay. Well, those are our picks for, who we think is transcending and who we think is descending. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us. We're going to take a real quick break. Side note, there is a smoking section tonight. We have some things that we need to get off our chest. The boys are going to be taking care of this tonight. Mike, where'd you go?
I'm right here.
Okay. Mike, John, and I got a few things we need to say. We're going to allow our Queen of Hoops to say goodnight. So thank you all. Make sure you tune in tomorrow night, 8:30, right here on Facebook, YouTube, and then 4 a.m. on DBNA TV for John Shear and Sideline Sports. We're back Wednesday night. Wednesday night's a very interesting night for me because I don't know which John Shear I'm going to get. Am I going to get the Baltimore Raven John Shear, or am I going to get the Miami Dolphin John Shear? Because you're playing each other. Your two teams are playing each other on Thursday Night Football. So I have to find out, and please save it for Wednesday, but I got to find out where your allegiance is going to lie.
I'm just going to have split personalities, basically. I'm just going to have to develop split personalities for that night.
All right, get two cameras, and we'll get the Miami Dolphin John Shear, and we'll get the Baltimore Raven John
just
Shear.
But anyhow,
for all of us at the Sports Arena, much love to everybody for chiming in and tuning in with us, and shout out to my Chicago Sky brethren, Tyler Ingram, saying that Cleveland will beat the Patriots on Sunday. I got to see that to believe that, my friend Tyler. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us. We're out, and stay tuned because we will have a smoking section.
This program contains graphic material, including offensive language. Viewer discretion is advised.
I got something real heavy to lay on you, man.
Now that's what I need.
Please feel free to join us in the smoking section because we with all the smoke.
For God's sake, strap yourselves down.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the smoking section. This is not for the weak of heart, the less opinionated, or the weak-minded. We have some things we need to get off our chest. If you are easily sensitive by what we might say or think, then I suggest I will give you 3 seconds to say goodnight to all of us because we will holler at you on Wednesday. All right. With that being said, my man John Shear is going to go first tonight. He's got something he needs to get off his chest. So, John, please, the floor is yours, my brother.
Yeah, and we saw this last year, what I'm going to touch on, but it's just Bush League. And I had people argue with me that it wasn't dirty. And we saw it happen once in the NFL, I believe it was last year. And it's always a Bush League move to gator roll somebody or something to that extent. We saw that last year. Somebody got hurt really badly. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm referencing the Mac Jones play on Burns yesterday, the Panthers. Mac Jones got lit up. And he lost the ball, and he was upset. So NFL Films did a great job of capturing this up close. They showed every detail of what Mac Jones did. He grabbed his, and then he twisted, which is basically like a gator roll. That's intent to injure, and that's Bush League. I don't care if you got picked off, if you got sacked, if you got lit up. I don't care. these are all they're your brothers, regardless if they play on your team or not. Everybody's there to do their job, get paid, and go home. I get players get injured, but intentionally injuring somebody, which is what it looked like he did, gator rolling is what it's called, and that's basically a gator roll. That's never okay. Never, no sport ever. Intent to injure, Bounty Gate, when Bounty Gate happened, that's not okay. This is sports. I mean, these guys have a job to do. They're trying to get paid, do their job. Yeah, injuries happen, but when you intentionally injure somebody, that's Bush League. That's dirty. You become a dirty player. And once you get labeled a dirty player, ask Vontez Burfict what happens to your label. That doesn't go away. And of course, this is a Bill Belichick-led team. This is a Patriots-led team. This doesn't happen basically on any other team except the Patriots. There's smoke, there's fire. There's Bill Belichick and the Patriots are always skirting the rules with this kind of nonsense. I mean, this is Bush League, man. Like, if you want to play that way, get out of the NFL, because somebody's going to get you, Mac Jones. I don't care if you're a rookie or not. Somebody's going to get you for that cheap shot on Burns. Somebody will, and I'll be waiting. I'll be waiting, because that's karma right there. That's karma, you little bitch. That's karma. I don't take kindly to that stuff in the NFL. Like I said, I don't care if players get hurt. I get it. It's part of the game. But whenever you go and intentionally injure somebody, something to that extent, that's not okay. You don't deserve to play in the NFL. It's an honor to play in the NFL. It's an honor to play in these professional sports. And when you act like that, that's trash. That's Bush League. I'm done.
Well, we all know I'm the college football guy, but yeah, so last week's rankings, they always tell you not to overreact. The fact that Oregon was actually ranked above Ohio State is so impressive. But now the rankings this week. We'll see how interesting it is with Michigan State choking against Purdue and just getting beat down. But this is what annoys me about SEC hacks. And yes, I will call you hacks, because when I hear analysts, national analysts, and some in the SEC joking about Vanderbilt or Missouri or, Arkansas fell off, or, Kentucky's actually somewhat decent this year, but Florida's fallen off. When I hear that Vanderbilt's a bye week for other teams in the SEC, you don't have the best conference. Shut your mouth. Georgia looks great this year. I can say it. I'm a Pac-12 homer. I can say Georgia looks great. Alabama rushed for 6 yards against LSU, and their fans are celebrating like they're the greatest things in sliced bread. Like, you might rush for negative 26 against Georgia, or 30, if all you could get was 6 against LSU, who's not that good this year. The reason why people get worked up is because the top never moves that much. Cincinnati should move up. Michigan State, bye. See you later. Have a good day. Ohio State, my other favorite, as Eric knows, that pathetic excuse for a scheduling team, struggled mightily against Nebraska. But there'll be excuses for Ohio State. There's always excuses for certain teams. But yes, being a little bit of a Pac-12 homer, my conference gets ripped. Well, when those teams won't go east of the Mississippi to play here and don't want to sign home and homes, yeah, tell yourself you have the best conference. You don't, because those bottom teams are a joke. I am tired of hearing them say, shouldn't overreact week one, it plays itself out. Well, guess what? If you get ranked high, you help yourself in the beginning, and you kind of have to fall off a hill. Ohio State should be below Cincinnati. Since Cincinnati, A, is undefeated, B, beat Notre Dame on the road, which the time was a great win. Now it's just like, they beat Notre Dame. Really? Again, both sides of the mouth for these analysts. It's always apologetic for Ohio State, who, again, Oregon punched in the mouth in Columbus without the best defensive player in the country, hands down. He's the best. Ohio State doesn't have a defensive player close to him at all, this year at least. For this season, Thibodeau's the best. He didn't even play, and you got punched in the mouth and looked sad. So, fans, yes, calm your blood pressure, unlike me. But, yes, you can overreact, because these analysts, everything that sways it, and the fact that you had a team like Iowa that was still ranked after losing to Purdue, losing to Wisconsin after being number 2 in the country, they were just a fraud too. So, as Cincinnati fans, if you don't climb, you should be pissed. And this is the problem with college football. It's a single season thing. It's not a lifetime achievement award. So if Alabama drops another game, they're gone. Ohio State, according to the committee, they should be gone, and hopefully somebody can do that because they don't put, well, if Oregon keeps winning, Ohio State won't go anyway because Oregon beats you at home, Ohio State. And, you know, we all know what happens, especially when Ohio State loses. Ask Penn State fans about that. When Ohio State loses and still gets to go to the playoff and get punched in the mouth, which is always great to see, but they shouldn't have been there. So, yes, fans, be a little annoyed. There's got to be change in the college football playoff system, and it's just a one-year thing. It's not a lifetime achievement award, people. Figure it out.
I'm going to preface my comments by saying I'm going to take a page out of my boy's book. So this one, ladies and gentlemen, is for Alex Fleming. Aaron Rodgers, you ignorant son of a bitch. What the hell makes you think that you are better than everybody else? So you lied. You blatantly tried to get one over on everybody. And no one took the time to actually listen to your words and then do their research. You had to go months later on someone else's show to clarify what you said back in August about you being immunized. Who the hell do you think you are? So because you hosted Jeopardy and because you're 13-3 and because you probably have an IQ that's smarter than all of us here on the sports arena, you feel that you're entitled to just do whatever you want to do. And because everybody in the Green Bay Packers organization wants to walk on eggshells because, oh my God, we don't want to lose Aaron Rodgers, they allow you to do whatever the hell you want to do. And you feel that you are just superior to the rest of us. Please believe and understand where I'm coming from. As someone who was once a fan of yours because of your on-the-field success, I am through with you. And I know you don't care, but I need you to hear something. You're an NFL quarterback. You are one of 32 other gentlemen who have the privilege to play that game and call yourself a starter. But please make no mistake about it. When you are gone from the NFL, I hope the world forgets about you. So you want to go jump off cliffs or go host Jeopardy or go do something else, please feel free. Because as far as I'm concerned, you are just as ignorant as those individuals who still in 2021 can't get over the fact that minorities, women, and those in the LGBTQ plus IA community are rising above them. That is what I think of you. And I hope and I pray that Green Bay finds it within themselves and within that organization to remove you. You called this your swan song. You called this the last dance. Do me a favor. Tap dance your narrow ass the hell up out of here. Because quite frankly, Aaron Rodgers, don't need you, don't want you. And you can just go. See, you wear the colors green and yellow, but you truly showed how much yellow and how much of a coward you are.
Generation